Hello and welcome to Ferris Sports Update. I'm your host, Rob Bentley, and thanks for tuning in. On today's show, we'll update you on National Signing Day for the reigning NCAA Division II Football National Champion Ferris State Bulldogs. We'll also check in with Bulldog men's and women's basketball, both teams coming off rivalry games at home this past week. We'll start, though, with Bulldog Football and joined by assistant coach, offensive coordinator Steve Annese. And Coach, welcome to the show.
Appreciate you having me here.
Before we get into National Signing Day, obviously you've been a part of the staff for a long time under your father, and maybe talk about what it meant and what it felt like to win that national championship here last fall.
It was an unbelievable journey. You know, when we first got here, I'm not sure any of us could have really felt like we were going to win it as quickly as we did, have an opportunity to win it as quickly as we did. And just having all of the alumni back for that game, you know, seeing how special it was to them really made it even more sweet for us.
Obviously, with that national championship run, you had to play catch up a little bit in terms of National Signing Day and recruiting, playing until late December, and really had to catch up here quickly before National Signing Day.
Yeah, it was definitely a scramble coming back from break, trying to make sure that we kind of secured the rest of our class. Fortunate enough for us, playing that long and winning a national title really it's a lot of leverage in recruiting, allowed us to recruit a lot of really good players, and you know, I think we put together a really good class because of it.
I know Coach Annese kind of said in his press conference, when you're a Division II team like Ferris State that's been in the playoffs 7 straight years, not really recruiting Division II type of players, you're recruiting Division I athletes to come in and really make an impact.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to kind of take a look at the guys that might have been overlooked, some of the guys that those Division I's just didn't quite pull the trigger on, and you know, you try to look for really talented players, and again, fortunate enough for us, there were a lot of really talented players in West Michigan this year, and so we ended up filling out our class with, I think, 11 guys out of the 22 from West Michigan, and a lot of really good players. So
I know you were instrumental as we talk about the 22 signees overall this year, especially here in West Michigan, and you mentioned those 11 guys, and really a big credit goes out to the relationships the staff's been able to develop with those high school coaches.
Yeah, we appreciate it for sure, and yeah, I've been, you know, grinding at West Michigan for a few years now, and kind of targeted in the spring, thinking that maybe it was going to be one of the best West Michigan recruiting classes that we've had available to us. You know, that's a combination of kind of some D1 programs not recruiting the state quite as hard as they used to, combination of some really good players being available, and fortunately enough for us, we were able to put it together and, like I said, have a great class, particularly in West Michigan.
Obviously not able to mention everybody's names, but we see them kind of shown on the screen right now, and you start with a talented quarterback from Rockford, Zach Ahern, but 4 talented and offensive linemen from West Michigan as well.
Yeah. So Zach's a great athlete. You know, we're really fortunate. We like to recruit athletes at quarterback, guys that could play quarterback for us. You know, if they can't play quarterback, it could obviously play a number of positions, and that goes for Zach as well. Just a really talented athlete, and yeah, you know, everyone that's watched Ferris State football over the course of the last 9 seasons since we've been here knows that it's our offense is really on the backs of our offensive line and our ability to run the ball. You know, a great example of that is in the national title game when we, you know, rushed for nearly 500 yards. Really on the backs of those offensive linemen, and having some guys available in West Michigan, some really talented offensive linemen, Dane Arnett, Andrew DeVries, Cam Heiss, and Elmarco Fields. You know, those are kind of the 4 guys that you talked about. Having them available to us is a big win for us, and they're all great players, and we're really fortunate to have them, and looking forward to having really great careers out of all of them.
Obviously, you guys have had some strong ties with the Muskegon area for a long time based on Coach Annese's past history, but a number of different schools from West Michigan that really sent their student athletes here to Ferris State.
Yeah. So obviously our ties at Muskegon from Coach Annese's time there. You know, I'm really close with those guys as well, and you know, we're fortunate to get those two, get MYLES and Damari. You know, it's not very often at a program of that quality like Muskegon that you get an opportunity to recruit a guy that was a 4-year starter there. For one, it doesn't happen very often in the high school level to have a 4-year starter, especially at a program as good as Muskegon. So getting MYLES, who started 4 years there, is a big get for us. And Damari's an unbelievable player too. This year had an incredible senior season. You know, and we're happy to get both of them.
Obviously, not just in West Michigan, but you've had some strong ties across the state as well, and certainly some talent coming out of the Detroit area as well that you were able to land.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, Marquis, a guy out of River Rouge, Marquis Jones, you know, we didn't feel like we would necessarily have him available when we started the whole process. He had some Division I stuff going on, and some of that kind of fell off late, and, you know, we were fortunate to land him. Big credit, you know, out there to Corey Parker, the head coach. he kind of reached out and let us know that he was available. And, the very next day we were in that building trying to get him, and, fortunately got him signed. So, yeah, every year, those Detroit coaches help us out a lot, and we appreciate them, and we always get great players from that area. So.
Obviously, another place you always get great players from over the past 9 years is Florida, and 5 prospects from the Sunshine State coming here to Ferris State again.
Yeah, absolutely. Florida's always an incredible pool for talent, and always an incredible pool for particularly offensive and defensive skill. And this year's no exception. There's only so many guys that can be taken from that area from the Division I, so there's always some guys available. Particularly, we went a little deeper into the state than we ever have. Took a couple kids out of the Gainesville area, and they're always on the lookout for really highly talented players. And all these guys from Florida really fit the bill.
Obviously, this class, great balance, 10 on offense, 10 on defense, a couple specialists. Certainly not so much in terms of the quantity maybe as in years past, but definitely the quality with a large roster already coming back.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, the biggest target for us was to try to get that quality of player. We didn't quite have to fill out our roster in terms of numbers. We're still sitting at a pretty good number. So we just wanted to take as many really quality players as we possibly could. The offensive and defensive split is awesome. Honestly, you never know with some of these guys. I think the number one goal as a recruiter is always to recruit the best players, and then once they get here, figure out where their talent fits. And that's part of the coaching deal, is figuring out where that talent fits, figuring out what position they might play. But again, just a number of really, really talented players, and all of them should be competing for jobs here in the next 3 to 4 years.
Obviously, with any signing day, there's always kids that maybe flip their minds at the last minute, but kind of nice to see you guys had 22 commitments going into National Signing Day, and all 22 signed with the Bulldogs.
Yeah, that's awesome for us. It's always been a scramble in the past, and this year was about as smooth as it's ever been. In terms of, we had a lot of kids that were committed early and really stuck all the way through with us. We had Connor Milton, who was committed really, really early out of Forest Hill Central, and stuck all the way through. A number of other guys like that were really committed for a long time to us, and I think that really says a great thing about a young man, to be able to stick with a commitment all the way through, while other coaches are in your ear trying to flip you, and guys that were really committed to being Bulldogs, and we're really happy to have all of them.
Finally here, I know you kind of mentioned it at the beginning. What did it mean to have that national championship behind you as you went into National Signing Day, and kind of have that under your belts as something to play?
Yeah, that's a big deal for sure. Particularly as these guys that were committed kind of almost followed along in the experience with us. I can't tell you how many recruits were texting me after every playoff game saying, "Hey, great win. Let's go get another. Let's go get another." And these guys were so committed, were so into it. At such an early stage that it was almost like they were already Bulldogs, and they were already just rooting for it to happen. And for it to happen, all of these guys were already kind of feeling like a part of it, and they're already saying, "All right, let's go out and get another. Let's roll off one next year too." And so these guys, it's an unbelievable thing for our team. It's an unbelievable thing for the recruits coming in. It's just really an experience that you can't get in many other avenues in life. So.
Well, Coach, thanks for the time. Congratulations on a great National Signing Day class, and obviously winning the national championship here this past season.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate you having me.
We'll be back with more Ferris Sports Update right after this.